Now, can you explain to the audience everything they need to know about Boosa's Keeper?
What the audience need to know about Boosa's Keeper is that it's a very fine-tuned project from a more mature Fat Trel. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm speaking on a lot of topics and things that go on today, period, and still relating to my city at the same time, and the ghettos all across America, the bad bitches all across America. I think my music speaks for itself, and when you play it, like, you definitely know who it's for and who should be able to relate to it.
Now, you use the phrase project here, but do you consider this body of work an album or a mixtape?
This really mixtape, Fat Trel, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? I know the way that the industry is formed now is kind of more so is where every project is kind of sort of considered an album. But to me, this is like my mixtape bag, just tapping into different vibes, different flows. And, you know, speaking to the streets and to the bad bitches at all time, to the real niggas, the men behind the wall. I think I do that on every project.
Now, why the mixtape feel for this body of work as opposed to an album for you?
Because I want to get back in that mode to where I'm just having fun with it. You know what I'm saying? I want to get back in that mode to where I'm just, you know, I'm just expressing myself, and I'm not really aiming for a specific topic. I'm not really aiming for a specific sound right now. What I'm doing right now is I'm just having fun with the music, and I'm just vibing. We traveling around the world, we shooting these videos, we doing these interviews, we taking care of business, radio stations, everything. And I think whatever we make in between that journey, I think that's a vibe right there, and I feel like the world need to feel that.
Now, for those in the audience who are not familiar, is there a difference between an album and a mixtape these days, 2024?
That's a good question. To me, in 2024, is there a difference between an album and a mixtape?
Your personal opinion here.
I think it's a small, very, very small difference. The business aspect side of it, no, I don't think there's a difference between an album and a mixtape. Sound-wise, cadence, flows, topics, yeah, I think there's a difference between an album and a mixtape, but a small difference.
And what is that difference there?
The difference is that, you know, on an album, man, you're really fine-tuning the album. You know, you mixing and mastering a certain song 3, 4, 5, 6 times. You're talking about specific topics versus a mixtape. You're just having fun. You know what I'm saying? You get in the stew. You and producer you choose to work with, or, you know, if you're making beats from scratch, if you're taking beats out your email, if you got a producer sitting beside you, dropping beats to you, whatever, however you get your work done. I feel like a mixtape is more, it's more kind of sort of carefree, if that makes sense. It's more carefree when you're creating the music versus an album. In my opinion, though. That's only my opinion.
Now, some have a DJ host their mixtape.
Absolutely.
In this case, you did not.
Some people, not to cut you off, some people have DJs host their albums too. So, but go ahead with your question.
Now, in the scope of a mixtape, why no DJ hosting this particular body of work for you?
You know, I've had a few tapes where I've had DJs host my tapes, and I love that sound. I love that feel. Like, that's that old trap Gucci Wayne feel forever. You know what I'm saying? And I'll never ever leave that bag. There is no, to answer that question, there is no specific reason why we didn't choose a DJ to host this tape. But that's not to say that we won't have DJs hosting tapes in the future, for sure, because that's a part of the culture, and that's always, that'll never die.
And for those that are just getting to know you for the very first time here, care to share some of those DJs that you have worked with on past mixtapes?
I've had DJ Money host a tape for me. Who else? Outside of regular tapes, when it comes to well, I did a tape with Trapaholics too. So I did a tape with DJ Money and Trapaholics. But outside of whole tapes, solo records and DJs that I've worked with, period. I've worked with the Alizés, I've worked with the DJ Screams, You know what I'm saying? I've worked with Holiday. Holiday, that's my dog, a real good friend of mine, mentor, a good dude all around. Drama is a good friend of mine, you know what I'm saying? So very well connected and intertwined with all the DJs in the game, past and present and future, I hope, for sure.
Now, when it comes to this body of work, can you explain the title and its meaning a little bit further?
Boosa's Keeper is a play off words from My Brother's Keeper. One of the movies we used to watch as youngins coming up was New Jack City, and you know they said My Brother's Keeper a lot in New Jack City. So Boosa's Keeper was a play off word from My Brother's Keeper. You know, when he passed away, God rest his soul, I just vowed to just keep his name alive and honor his name, work hard, do the best that I can, be a good artist, be a good student, be a good father, be a good uncle, be a good son, all of the above, you know what I'm saying? And the name of that album is just to honor his name, keep his name alive, and stay working.
Now, again, for those getting to know you for the very first time and don't know the history of you and Boosa,
right?
Who is this person to you? Is it literally a biological figure in your life, or
Boosa,
just
Boosa is my brother, man. You know what I'm saying? My right hand man, my best friend, my everything. You know what I'm saying? My dog, my ace. You feel me? So he passed away while I was incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure if you follow my career, and I get it, there's a lot of people who will watch this interview or stumble across this interview who don't know who I am, who've never heard of Fat Trel, who never heard of Boosa the Shooter or whatever. But that's like, you know, that was my best friend. He's been with me from the start, from the beginning of my music career. And he helped me out in more ways than one. And so that's just my brother, man. You know what I'm saying? I dedicate this project to him. And to be honest, no matter what I name a project from here on in the future, everything I do is dedicated to him, for sure.
Now, in regards to the history between you two, do you remember how you two met for the very first time?
My mother lived in my mother moved to a neighborhood called the Pinnacles, which is in the northeast section of Washington, D.C. And you know, she was neighbors with his mother, you know what I'm saying, my Aunt Rena, like, and Boosa's grandmother lived in the Pinnacles as well. His uncle had a separate apartment in the Pinnacles, and his aunt had a separate apartment in the Pinnacles. So kind of sort of his whole family really lived in the Pinnacles. And my mother was a single mom with 3 children. I was the youngest, you feel me? So she had just moved to that neighborhood, and me, him, and his brother, we kind of sort of clicked, and you know, we've been on each other since what, 95, 90, between 94 and 96, you know what I'm saying? So we grew up with each other, man, like from boys to men. We literally did everything together, so, you know, it gets no closer than that, for sure.
Now, for those that may have heard his name before, but haven't had a chance to meet him or have a relationship like you did with him, what was he really like?
Boosa was the type of person that he was real anti to strangers. If he didn't know you, he didn't speak much. If he did know you, you couldn't get him to shut up. You know what I'm saying? Always on money. He was on money hard, real hard. You know what I'm saying? Always trying to figure out how to get a dollar. And, you know, he gambled a lot. Most of all, though, he loved his children, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, he loved his kids. He was a great father. He put me and a lot of my friends to shame as far as being a good parent and a great present father. You know what I'm saying? But he was just a hustler. Like, in Northeast, in my city, he was known as being a hustler who knew how to get fly. And, you know, he had a street reputation, too. And now that he's passed, it's like, I could sit here and boast about his street reputation and, you know, because his name is Boosa, but everybody knew him as Boosa the Shooter. You know what I'm saying? If you really loved him, you called him badass or pimp. You know what I'm saying? So I could sit here and confess to his street reputation, but he dead and gone. You know what I'm saying? He a real nigga. He passed away. If you know, you know. I guess that's kind of a if you know, you know type situation. Like his reputation in the street, if you know that. But outside of that, he was a great father, great hustler, one of the best gamblers I've ever seen gamble in my life, one of the best, flat out one of the best dice shooters I've ever seen shoot dice in my life, and a great friend. I miss him a lot.
Now, you did mention previously that you were notified of his death while you were incarcerated.
Right.
But prior to that notification, do you remember the last correspondence you had with him?
Yeah, I do.
Can you take the audience back to that time?
The last correspondence I had with him was we was going over watches, chains, styles, and cars. We was going over cars because I had been gone 4 years, and he was trying to help me map out how I should come home. You know what I'm saying? What should I wear? What should I drive? What should I do? What should I rap about? You know what I'm saying? What interviews should I do? What media should I meet up with? We was really just talking about plotting on my comeback from incarceration. And then we was also talking about me focusing, you know what I'm saying? Focusing more on music and less on my problems that's outside of music, I'm gonna say, or outside of my career. You know what I'm saying? We was trying to get me back on track with that.
Now, was he in the music industry himself at all?
Yeah, Boosa rapped. Yeah, you can find a lot of videos on YouTube from Boosa the Shooter, for sure.
And was this advice or consultation he was giving you just friend to friend, or did he play a role or specific position within your team of some sort, aside from him doing his own artistry?
That's a great question. But honestly, anybody you see around me, any friend that I hold dear close to me, they all help out in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? And I say that to say, Boosa rapped, but he also helped me pick out outfits because I don't dress well. You know what I'm saying? He also, if you got the rental plug in Phoenix, Arizona, because I don't know nobody in Phoenix, Arizona, you do call your plug. And that's all a part of helping out, because we need the rental to do what? Get around. Go to the show, go to the venue, go to the interview, go to the radio, go to this place, that place, go to the football game, go to the basketball game, go to the strip club. If you're around me in any way, shape, or form, whether you're an artist or not, you're gonna help me regardless. So I think he helped in both capacities.
Now, was this a physical visitation that took place where this conversation happened, or was this a phone call of some sort, or?
Nah, every time I was incarcerated, I always had phones and shit. So we'd just be, I basically had one group chat with a lot of my close friends in it. And we'd talk via Instagram through DM or just through text or FaceTime, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'd just go over things and go over views and schedules. We was plotting on everything, you feel me? So we talked in a lot of ways as far as communication.
And how long did this last correspondence take place before his actual passing?
I mean, you could say up until the day before he passed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a phone, you feel me? So I would come out to, you know, take a shower, maybe play cards for a little bit or whatever for the COs and for the inmates or whatever. But for the most part, I was in my cell all day, all night, you feel me? Plus we had TVs in our cell, Xboxes in our cell, so it wasn't abnormal for you to sit in your cell all day because you had TVs, Xbox, food. You might come out, use the microwave, go right back in your cell, you feel me? So we was corresponding every day up until he passed, you feel me? Like, we was plotting. I mean, listen, matching cars, matching outfits, matching watches, matching tattoos. I mean, you know what I'm saying? This is my brother, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And how were you in fact notified he had passed? Was it that same group chat as well?
Nah, my little homie Fat Bag from around my way, he FaceTimed me. And I never forget, he was crying. He FaceTimed me crying, and he could barely talk. So you know, I'm from the city. We get bad news a lot. I ain't gonna try to sound like this big bad, you know what I'm saying? We get bad news a lot. We get good news a lot, but we get a lot of bad news a lot. So I knew immediately, I could tell from his face and that he couldn't talk, somebody got killed, because it don't matter whether you get arrested or you get shot a couple times. You know what I'm saying? Niggas know how to make that call and be like, man, such and such got hit. Or damn, well, they just locked up such and such. You know what I'm saying? The way he was crying and the way he couldn't talk, I knew somebody got killed. It was just a matter of how close was this person, because he was so speechless. You know what I'm saying? That's when he told me that Boosa had got killed. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, they just killed Boosa. And I was like, what you mean? He was like, man, they killed Boosa. I believe my first questions, if you from my city, then you know the first questions is probably, where was he at? How many times he get hit? Is you sure he dead? And who was he with? Those was the first questions. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, I'm locked up. I'm in a cell. I'm in a federal holding facility. So I had to hang up the phone with him and call as many people as I know to try to figure out what the fuck was going on.
Now, it's one thing for someone to be in the free world and handle the news and the logistics after something of this nature happens. But how does someone like yourself, in that time, in that confinement of being behind bars, handle that?
Man. You know, honestly, truthfully, I cried a lot. First of all, cried a lot. Smoked a lot of weed, a lot of cigarettes. We had a lot of, this facility I had was, that I was at was a cool facility, so we had a lot of alcohol, weed, and other things, you know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, I still had to be involved with the funeral arrangements, still had to be involved with his family, his mother, his children, his outfit, what he gonna wear, who gonna do his hair, where's his jewelry, how do we get that back, all of these things. So it's like, at the same time you grieve, but at the same time you so emotionally invested into what's going on that you still got to put your big boy pants on. You know what I'm saying? You know, who would ever thought, of course, that's my mind state every day that I'm waking up, but at the same time, real things is happening in real time. Yo, we need this, we need the outfit, the funeral home want this, you know, man, we got to send them out this way, everything, the casket, everything, you know what I'm saying? So we still had business to take care of, and then most importantly, he got children, you know what I'm saying? So that's not going, they not never going nowhere. They're going to be here forever, so what you going to tell them? You can't make no excuse. You can't be like, oh, I'm too much of in a slump. I'm too hurt that your father passed, I can't do it. No, you got to put your big boy pants on and just take care of business.
Was this the first death you ever experienced while incarcerated?
Nah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. My grandmother passed the year before him in the same month. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely wasn't the first passing situation I dealt with. My little homie Shamar got killed while I was locked up. A lot of people passed while I was locked up, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, 23 Racks from 23rd and Savannah, you know, another artist under MGE. He passed while I was locked up. Goonew passed while I was locked up. Rest in peace, Goonew. I know a lot of people know him because his funeral had went viral because they threw his funeral in the club and they had him standing up on stage or whatever. So he passed while I was locked up. A lot of people passed while I was locked up. So I had to deal with a lot of deaths. You know what I'm saying? Goonew funeral, I spoke over the phone, over the jail phone, on a microphone at the funeral. So I was involved with the streets and lawyers, funerals. I do that regardless. You know what I'm saying? Whether I'm on the street or locked up, my responsibilities don't stop.
Now, in regards to Boosa, do you have a favorite memory of him you'd like to share with the audience today?
My favorite memory of Boosa was them cold nights, them cold nights we stayed up trying to put food on the table. You know what I'm saying? I can't go deep into it, but a lot of nights where we laid up in traps with the oven open, the doors locked, and we was just trying to make $1. You know what I'm saying? Those are my favorite memories because we struggled together, man. We took girls on dates together. You know what I'm saying? Like we broke law many a times together, worldwide, state to state. Those are my best memories. The best memories with Boosa was coming up when we was kids, for sure.
Now, what's the best advice you received from him, or most important thing you learned being around him?
Was that money is the most important thing. No matter how you look at life, no matter how good-hearted you is or how hard you work, they only respect money. And that goes for everybody. Children, women, judges, president, nurses, doctors, car dealers, jewelers. The whole world respect the money. That's it.
And was that, just for clarification, advice he gave you or something you learned just being around him?
Lifestyle. That was just a lifestyle, and that was just in his speech, his whole mindset. You know what I'm saying? How can I get some money? Why would I do that if it don't generate me some money? Like, he was just on money all the time. Every day he woke up, man, when it came down to going to get something to eat, he was trying to figure out how to get the food for free. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just money, period.
Now, how much music is there between you two?
It's a lot of music, excuse me. It's a lot of music with us that's out. It's a lot of music that's unreleased between us two. But Boosa rapping, doing music, that was something that I was trying to get him to do to clean his face up within the city that we came from. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was really just trying to get him to have a reason for the things that he had, you know, the clothes that he wore, the cars that he drove, the jewelry that he had, the things that he did for his birthday. I was trying to get him to make music so we could have an excuse for him having all these things. You know what I'm saying? But was his heart really truly into music? He loved music, don't get me wrong, he loved the idea of music. Was his heart into being an artist and being a rapper? Absolutely not. Nah, he did that. That was just something for him to do while he did what he did, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Now, there are 7 features on this mixtape, and we'll get into that a little bit further.
Is 7 on there?
Yes.
Damn. Okay.
But none from him.
Right, yeah. None from Boosa, yeah.
Was there any thought on maybe including any of that unreleased music left on this body work?
Absolutely, but my thing is like, I wanted the sessions to those records, you know what I'm saying, versus putting out. I got plenty of music where me and Boosa went in the studio and just recorded and just laid down some music. You get what I'm saying? But as far as like releasing them to the streets, first of all, we got to reach out to the producers, first of all. Second of all, we got to get the sessions so we can mix and master the sessions. And me just throwing something out there, like, if I'm gonna put some records out with me and Boosa after his passing, of course, I'm gonna have it set up as to where everything goes to his family, whoever they choose, you know what I'm saying, because that's not my choice. Whoever they choose for the money to go to in his family, of course. But most of all, I want it to sound good. I want it to sound great. Me and Boosa got a lot of great music, though. Yeah, for sure.
And finally, in regards to his passing,
Mm-hmm.
mentally speaking here, has this been something you sought any professional help over?
Um, did I seek professional help for the passing of Boosa?
Yes, it
No, I
is.
didn't. But I will say one of my release conditions when I got released from prison was mental health evaluation. And I did do a year straight of mental health evaluations upon my release from prison. Now, I'm saying that to say that I did do mental health evaluations for a year, but I didn't choose them to do that to cope with the passing of my best friend. But I did it regardless, and we spoke on every session. We spoke on multiple topics, and of course, he came up a lot, and not just him. My grandmother, you know what I'm saying? I lost my grandmother too while I was incarcerated, and no disrespect to anybody, my grandmother is my favorite person in the world. You know what I'm saying? So that was hard for me too. You know what I'm saying? So, but to answer your question, did I seek professional help as far as for the passing of Boosa a long period? No, I didn't.
Now, why not? Because there are some people that go that route for these kind of things.
Yeah, that's a good question. I felt as though, honestly, me personally, I knew what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like, you know, as a man, I'm comfortable enough to tell myself, hey, dog, you might want to reach out to a therapist, man, to help you cope with this situation. I feel like if I had that talk with myself, within myself, I would have definitely done that. But I don't feel as though I ever reached a point as to where I wanted to do that. You know what I'm saying? I might have reached a point to where I ain't want to make music no more. You feel me? I might not reach the point where I ain't want to get up out the bed no more some mornings. But I don't think I ever reached a point as to where, like, the situation was fucking with me so much mentally that I needed professional help. I don't feel as though I ever reached that point, and I pray I never reach that point. I'm not saying that that point is impossible for me to reach either.
Now, just to tie up some loose ends here on some things that you mentioned during this conversation at this point, you mentioned your grandmother. Was this a grandmother on the mother side of your family?
Yeah,
Or...
on my mother's side, this is my mother's mother, Lucille. Got a tattoo right here on my lip and on my wrist. You know what I'm saying? Lucille, my baby.
And speaking of this title, Boosa's Keeper, what's been the reaction to that from the city, from his neighborhood, from the area that you both grew up in?
Oh man, you know, I got a lot of good friends and family that's on the street, you know what I'm saying, who love the fact that I'm still keeping his name alive. Um, all his children's mother love the fact that I'm keeping his name alive. And most importantly, well, I ain't gonna say most importantly, but on the other side too, I got a lot of friends and homies who was incarcerated, you know what I'm saying, who knew me and Boosa's relationship, or who knew Boosa personally, who like, yo, what you doing is unfathomable. You know what I'm saying? And, so I think the reception from the streets has been absolutely 1,000%. It's a go, green light. You feel me? Because everybody knew how much I loved him. Everybody knew what type of spirit he had, and what I'm speaking on the project is like, I know that my message here condone that for sure.
And when it came to the choosing of this title, did you preview or let his family or friends know that you were going to create this title or use this title as your body of work, or you just surprised them with it?
No, I just really surprised him, honestly. I think his family and, you know, his children, his baby mothers, his mother, I think his whole family know my intentions is pure, first and foremost. Secondly, I think they know how much he mean to me personally. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta think, they know the real me. You know what I'm saying? All this fat Trel and, you know, these record labels and YouTube and music videos, that's just something, that's a career path that I chose. They know Trel, Fats. You know what I'm saying? They know me and Boosa from, come on, man, we was running around stealing and doing a bunch of other knucklehead stuff. So what I'm doing music-wise, as far as keeping his name alive and all that, that's kind of sort of mandatory if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like those who know us from growing up really in the streets, they know that like it's a no-brainer what I'm doing. I got to keep my brother's name alive because we was like freaking frack for real.
Now, was this a title you came up with or someone coined for you?
Now I came up with the title for sure.
And you've already explained the meaning behind it, but just for some additional insight on the process itself for the creation of this title, was this something that you thought of before you start recording the music? Was this something you thought of while you were recording the music for this body of work, or was this something that comes to you after this collection of songs?
You talking about the title?
Yes.
Of the project? Nah, I think the title more so came after that. Like after I was released from prison and all the music that I was creating, first and foremost, that's how the title came to me, because I was listening to a lot of topics and things that I was talking about on the album. That's first and foremost. So the title came from me just listening to the body of work that I was creating upon my release. Secondly, though, a lot of people don't know this, Boosa's Keeper was supposed to drop before Nightmare on East Street 2. You feel me? So honestly, there's a lot of records that was created while I was in the mindset of creating Boosa's Keeper that didn't make the actual album. You know what I'm saying? Because being as though it's dropped second after Nightmare on East Street 2, I swapped out a lot of records, put these records on, took these records off. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how that came about.
Now, were there any scrap titles for this project?
No, no scrap titles.
And when it comes to this body of work, are there any other unknown facts or stories in regards to this mixtape that's never been publicly mentioned? Could be in regards to creating it, recording it, or releasing it.
That I could think of right offhand, no. But I know I have a lot of people, it's crazy because a lot of people who DM me on my Instagram, like, you know, I got a lot of fans from out of town, outside of my area. Like I said, there are people who don't know who Boosa is, who don't know who Boosa the Shooter is, never heard of him, whatever. I do have a lot of people from out of town who DM me and ask me who is that talking on the end of the intro to Boosa's Keeper. And a lot of people in my city, of course, know that's him. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people DM me and be like, yo, whoever was talking on the end of that first, on the end of the intro record on the album, man, they saying some real shit, man. Nah, they saying some real shit, like you gotta live by shit like that. And it's funny because a lot of people don't know that that's Boosa talking. Though, both of those things that he said was some of the last posts he posted to his social media before he passed. You know what I'm saying? If you're an op, stay the fuck away from me. You hang with anybody I don't like, stay the fuck away from me. Straight up, I don't fuck with nobody who don't fuck with me. If you don't fuck with me, just stay the fuck away from me. You know what I'm saying? That's his mind state, period. Like, if you don't fuck with me, just stay away from me. Like, we ain't got a beef. We don't gotta get into it with each other. We don't gotta fuck the same bitches. Just stay out my way. I promise you I'll stay out yours. That was his mind state.
Now, there are 17 tracks on this project.
Yeah.
But what's your favorite song out of all of them?
It's hard to pick one. But the first song that came to my mind, like whenever I get asked that question, is, I believe, is Grown Man Business. The record Grown Man Business, because I just feel like it's a testament to what I'm going through right now in my real life. And you know, you reach a certain point or a certain age in life as to where your responsibilities is strictly your main focus. You know what I'm saying? Chasing the clubs, chasing women, chasing the lit party, chasing all of such, all that shit really come last when you reach a certain age. And I feel like I'm at that point in life where I'm just like, yo, my responsibilities is first. And making sure that those who I care about and those who I love, making sure that they okay, that's my main first goal and first responsibility throughout my day-to-day process. And after that is done, only then can I tend to whatever else the world want to do. So I feel like that's why Grown Man Business is my favorite record on the tape.
And do you recall who produced that beat?
Drumlord produced Grown Man Business. Shout out to Drumlord, man. That's my homie from back home. He been living in the A for a minute. You know what I'm saying? But he originally from the DMV, so shout out to Drumlord. That's my boy.
Now, whether it's your favorite song or not, what's your most honest song on this body of work? And if it just so happens to be Grown Man Business, then that's okay too as well.
Most honest song?
Yes.
I would have to say it had to be Pain on Me and Grown Man Business. Like, those are my most brutal, honest songs. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just giving you myself. I'm giving you the real me with no cut, no chaser. You know what I'm saying?
And do you recall who produced that beat as well?
Pain on Me. Who produced Pain on Me? I believe that might be Slopes. Slopes is a producer from back home. Shout out to Slopes, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm almost for sure that Slopes produced Pain on Me.
Now, as previously mentioned, there are 7 features on this project. What's your personal favorite?
My personal favorite out of the features on this project might have to be Back Home with ESTG and Wins and Losses with Almighty.
Now, can you explain why those are your personal favorites or what those songs are about there?
Well, Back Home with ESTG is a favorite of mine because the topic of conversation, I come from that. I feel like G and everything the EST members represent, I feel like we embody the streets, you know what I'm saying? And I'm always a street first artist, you know what I'm saying? I always want to represent the streets first. So that's why it's my favorite record. And it's really raw. We killed that shit. And if you pay attention to what's being said, then this ain't got nothing to do with selling records. Grammy nominations, BET Awards, red carpet events. It ain't got nothing to do with that. We speaking to the trenches, where we come from, and if you know, you know, and if you don't even try to understand. You know what I'm saying? So that's why that's my favorite feature. And then the record with Almighty, which is Wins and Losses, I just feel like, man, listen to that flow. Listen to how polished that flow is. Listen to, do that sound like a man that been stomped down and defeated so many times? Do that sound like a man who get drugged through the internet every day? Do that sound like a man who get constantly harassed by police and detectives and prosecutors and district attorneys and judges? Do that sound like that guy? That sound like a well-polished young hustler from the northeast streets of Washington, D.C. And if you listen to that verse on Wins and Losses, that's a testament to who I am as a man and how I feel about myself and how polished I am as an artist.
And speaking of beats, do you recall the producers behind either of these songs?
Almighty produced, is Almighty featured on the record, and Almighty produced the record to Wins and Losses. And what was the other one I said? Was it Pain on Me?
With ESTG?
No, ESTG, Back Home. Who produced that? ESTG, Small Heart. One of G producers produced that. Damn, I can't, his name escaping me right now, but it's definitely on the track list and on the album though. Shout out who produced Back Home though, for sure. Shout out to G2, that's my dog, man.
And how did that collaboration happen between you two?
Man, you know me and ESTG, man. My manager like really been locked in with G and them since I was doing my time. So they had met when I was doing time, and then you know me and G would FaceTime a lot while I was locked up, and we were just having little small conversations, and you know, he was asking me for different advice on small things, not a lot of shit. I ain't gonna sit here and perp like he was coming to me for advice. I'm not one of them type niggas. But like when we talking, we had miscellaneous conversations. We'd talk about a lot of things: kids, sports, the music industry, clothes, fashion, bitches, whatever, drugs. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So me and G relationship really started while I was locked up, and then when I came home, he just sent me some records and like, yo, we gonna get up and do this and that and that, and that's the way that relationship came about. And my relationship with Almighty, yo, I just met Almighty in the studio one day. We was in Atlanta. He was like, yo, I'm from Pennsylvania. I can't remember where we said, like Harrisburg, Pittsburgh, or Philly. I just know he's from the Pennsylvania area. And he was like, yo, I make beats. And he played me a couple of his beats. I started recording on this shit. And then, you know, the more time we spend together, he would help me with my hooks, help me with my verses. And then that's when I learned that he sang and rap. So he sing, rap, make beats, all of the above. And once I learned all that, like, we started to make more music with each other, you feel me? And me and Almighty relationship grew. That's my dog. He a dope ass artist, bro. Almighty, like, Yo, he dope as fuck. Dope producer, dope artist. Like, I got a good feeling about him. I believe he's gonna blow and be a big star.
And when it comes to ESTG, this sounds like an organic feature, a free feature, if you want to say.
Yeah.
Nothing paid for, nothing business wise.
Right.
But where do you stand on that debate of free features versus paid features?
Well, at the end of the day, it's still a business, number one. Number two, we all got children and family that we do take care of. And I feel as though free features and paid features is based on a relationship, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Because we might have a relationship where you might give me a free verse, but if I want to shoot a video, I might be willing to compensate you to come out your schedule to fly here or fly this place and do a video. You feel me? Or I might have that type of relationship with you where I might not pay for the verse or the video. You feel me? Or I might have that relationship with you where I had to pay for the verse and the video. I might have to pay you to post it on your Instagram, depending on how big of an artist you are. It all depends, you know what I'm saying? And I'm glad I made it to that point where business is business, and I don't really let too much get to me, because I understand now as a man, bills got to be paid, drip got to be bought. You know what I'm saying? Niggas want to pour up their deuces, niggas want to pour up their shots. You feel me? Niggas want to smoke the finest of the finest candy. Niggas want to put big Cubans around their neck. Niggas want to put bad bitches on jets. I understand that, because I want to do the same thing. So I'm going to respect your mind as a businessman, especially if I feel like this record gonna work, this project gonna work. Man, I really wanna rap on that beat. I gotta respect your mind as a businessman, because I'm a businessman myself.
And just curious there, because I've heard of some recording artists say, I'll never pay for a feature. That's against what I... So just curious on what
And
your
I
mind.
respect those artists too. I respect them too. I respect the niggas who feel like, man, I never pay for a feature, man. Fuck, I respect them too.
Were you ever one of those type of artists way back when?
Yes, sir, I was. Yeah, I was. I felt like I was too real of a nigga to pay for a feature. Why would I pay you for a feature? I'm a real nigga. You should want to work with me. Hell yeah. I definitely felt like that.
And what got you over the hump where it is acceptable to pay for something that you see worth value?
Because, you know, John Legend may not feel that way. You feel what I'm saying? John Legend might not, one, know who you are. Two, feel like you can help his career in any way, shape, or form. Three, whatever else his personal feelings may be, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a fan of John Legend. I feel as though me and John Legend would make a #1 hit Billboard record. And so since I feel that way, I feel as though it's in my best interest to invest in seeing as though I make that record happen. And whatever John Legend want from that, I believe in him enough as an artist as to where I feel as though he actually deserved that. Now, I am a hustler. So if John Legend want 250, I'm gonna try my best to talk him to 175, 160. You feel me? Because I'm a hustler at the end of the day. So I'm like, John, man, I got a budget, man, but it ain't that big of a budget, man, but I believe in you. I'm a huge fan, bro. We could do the split and the paperwork however you want to. Of course, I'm going to try to talk my way into, you get what I'm saying? But I'm going to still respect his mind as a businessman. So that's what helped me get over the hump, realizing that not everybody might not have the same vision as you. So the record that you see with you and Jill Scott might not see that record. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, if you want her to do it, she's probably going to keep it strictly business, because technically she could do without this record being done. You get what I'm saying? And that's a part of business.
Care to share the most you've ever paid for a feature?
I can't even remember no exact amount, man. And I ain't the type that's going to sit here on the camera and freestyle. So I just say I pay for features.
Was it ever worth whatever amount you've paid for in the past?
Some features I feel like I lost out on. Some features I felt like I gained. Some features I felt like I didn't make $1, but the feature itself was priceless. And that's all a part of my history and my journey. You get what I'm saying? So for me to dig deep into that, my younger self, I probably would have, Smallz, and it's good that I met you the age that I did meet you, because I feel like you kind of sort of got to see me evolve as a man. You know what I'm saying? And so the younger me probably would have dug deep into that question and answered that question. But I'm gonna just say I've paid for features before. Some features I've lost out on. Some features I did with big artists I never got paid for. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a part of business. But I don't regret nothing though, if that make any sense. I don't regret nothing, because me being who I am and where I'm from, I never thought I would be doing any of this. So I feel as though this is all, number one, a blessing, and it's all a part of my journey. Yeah.
Now, winding down the questions here on this body of work, can you give the audience 5 reasons to listen to this mixtape?
5 reasons to listen to my new tape. 1 is genuine. 2, it make you feel good. 3, you get to, when you listen to this tape, you get to understand the mind of a young black African-American male who grew up in the United States of America. And I feel as though, excuse me, I feel as though a lot of albums and a lot of tapes that's coming out right now, it's a lot of, let's have fun, let's turn up, let's get twisted, let's fuck, man, let's go hit the trap, let's sling this, man, let's go put that iron on this nigga, put the stick on this nigga. I feel as though all those are topics that's on a lot of tapes, but it's not a lot of music coming out right now where it's like, yo, let me bring you into the mind of why I made these decisions. Let me tell you why I got gun charges. Let me tell you why I got discharged. Let me tell you why I'm mourning over this person. Let me tell you why I got PTSD. Let me tell you why I'm afraid to be pulled over. I feel like my tape is bringing you into a mind of a young African-American male who was born in the United States of America, and I grew up in Washington, D.C., one of the roughest, hardest cities to grow up in America. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what separates my tape from the rest that's going on.
And in regards to PTSD, is that something that's a self-diagnosis, or you've been professionally diagnosed with that?
I was professionally diagnosed with PTSD at 19 years old. Yeah.
And speaking of dressing, care to share the ensemble you are currently sporting during this interview?
As far as dressing, right? My team really be, I can't dress, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a dresser. If it's up to me, I'm gonna go in the store and I'm gonna grab the first pair of Murrays I find. I'm gonna grab me some all-white Air Forces or some black Nike boots. Or if I gotta wear a neutral color, I'm gonna try to grab me some gray Asics or some gray New Balances. I'm very, very simple. When you see me wear Rick Owens, when you see me in Gucci, when you see the Louis scarves, when you see, now I do wear Amiris. I love Amiris, you know what I'm saying? I love Amiris. I love Chrome Hearts. So those are things that I personally buy. But when you see like Goyard, Givenchy, Prada, Louis, Gucci, when you see those things, when you see those off-brand outfits and stuff, it's a lot of stuff where you could just, like, if you know me personally, you can know that I never ever dress myself. And when I do dress myself, I'm usually in Nike Tech and Nike boots or Nike Tech and Air Forces, because I like to be comfortable. And I don't want to put too much into fashion. When you see me with some Amiris on and some type of outfit or something like that, it's usually somebody put an outfit for me together. I never really dress myself. And when I do, I'm very, very plain Jane. Like I was about to come on this interview with a white tee and my Montclair coat, probably my Cartiers, and that's it. And then a call was made and like 6 or 8 outfits came to the hotel room, and then that's how it went.
Now, does this also apply to your jewelry as well? Do you have help, do you have help with that, or is that your own doing there?
Absolutely, I have help with my jewelry. I'm not a real big jewelry guy. You know what I'm saying? So when I was growing up, I always wanted a Cartier watch because that was my favorite looking watch when I grew up. You know what I'm saying? And my first watch was a plain Jane Rolex that was gifted to me by Rose. But even down to the jewelry, like when it comes to walking into a jeweler office and talking diamonds, weight of the Cubans, and all this stuff, I usually have somebody who's there helping me with that. I don't never try to, like, I'm real big on staying in my lane, Smallz. And like, if I don't know a question, I'm real big on asking a question, bro. I'm not the type of nigga that's gonna walk up to you and act like I know what I'm talking about when I don't. I'd rather ask questions so we both can understand that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, and that way we could go from there and we can help each other and you can help me. But I'm not the type of nigga, well, if it come to fashion, jewelry, whatever, gambling, sports betting, I'm not the type of dude that's gonna pretend like I know what I'm talking about. I'm always the one who gonna ask questions.
Now, as far as the jewelry you are currently wearing during this interview, care to share the names of any of these items or the jewelers behind any of these items?
Man, I got a custom diamond pinky ring from Artisan. Bust down Cardi. I got Boosa in my chain, man. You know what I'm saying? He came from Artisan. The Cuban came from Miami. We just be, I don't know, man. I like to look good sometimes. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm already ugly, so I be trying to throw my accessories on and do what I gotta do. You feel me?
And what about the teeth here?
Mm-hmm.
Respectfully asking you this, are these pullouts or perms?
I hate my gap, man, but nah, these pullouts. I'm actually about to, it's crazy that you asked me that because I'm actually about to go down Houston and get my teeth done. It's crazy that I'm about to go get permanents. So, I don't know if I want to fuck with Gio, if I want to fuck with Johnny Dang, man, but it's looking like it's going to be Johnny Dang. The more and more I see his work, the more and more I can't argue with it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Johnny Dang, in my opinion, I know people going to come at me on the comments, but I feel like, in my opinion, I don't see, as far as work, I don't see nobody making better teeth than Johnny Dang in the United States of America. I could be wrong, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm gonna go spend 25, 30,000, and I know that ain't nothing to a lot of people. I know a lot of people spend 80, 100 racks on their teeth or whatever. If I'm gonna go spend 25 to 30,000 on my teeth, I'm gonna probably trust Johnny Dang with that.
And why that decision to continue with diamonds in the teeth, this time going from pullout to permanent? Why not maybe...
Something I told not to cut you off, right? Something I told myself when I was a child. You know what I'm saying? When I grew up, when I was coming up as a kid, Nelly and the Grills, Paul Wall, Slim Thug, Mike Jones, the Grills was real big on TV. And then when I started seeing Birdman and when I started seeing the big timers, Birdman and Manny Fresh, the Hot Boys, like the way they teeth was back when I was a child. I was born in 1990, so I'm a 90s baby. I grew up watching Baller Blocking a lot, and I grew up watching Birdman and BG and Turk and all them, and they had diamonds in their teeth. And I told myself that, and I always had a gap too, you know what I'm saying? So I never really liked it in my teeth. And I had hella females who tell me, oh, I love your gap, don't get rid of your gap, whatever, whatever. Me personally, I never really liked it, my gap. I used to get picked on a lot in school when I was younger about my gap. So I always told myself, man, when I grow up and I get me some money, I'm gonna get diamond teeth in my mouth and ain't nobody gonna laugh at my teeth. You know what I'm saying? So now that I got permanents first to see how I feel, to have diamonds in your mouth and stuff like that. Like, I seen how I feel now, so now I'm ready to go permanent. And I just want a cool 8 at the top, 8 at the bottom. And I think I'm gonna trust Johnny Dang with that decision.
And care to share who did the pullouts at this point?
Artisan. Artisan. A lot of my jewelry mostly came from Artisan Jewelers, man. Back home, man. Shout out to Artisan, my dogs, man. 100% real official, man. You go to Artisan, man. You know what I'm saying? No problem.
And care to share the cost of any of these items you're sporting today?
If I had to guess, bro, I know for a fact I got on over. I know for a fact I got on over 150 in jewelry. So, but I ain't never really added it up. You know what I'm saying? But like, when you take the Cuban and the watch and the ring, this ring, You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, like, I'm gonna keep it real, I'm a real nigga. A lot of times you might go to a jeweler and the jeweler might be like, yo, this ring right here is 10,000. I'm gonna give it to you for 7,500. This bracelet right here is 14,000. But I can give it to you for 11,500. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the nigga that's gonna keep it real and you know what I'm saying? But have I ever did the math and like try to calculate it myself? I never did that, bro, because I ain't the type, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? I grew up without this shit and I always dreamed for it. So when it come down to purchasing little shit, like, I'm gonna just do my thing. You feel me? Like, I'm gonna do what make me feel comfortable and what I feel best in. But definitely new shit on the way though, man. And like I said, I'm gonna take out the pullouts and I'm gonna go permanent for sure though. I just want to go permanent one time, man.
Now, just for a little further clarification, when you say this is well over 150, that's what it's worth, or that's actually how much you personally spent, regardless of the discounts?
How much I personally spent? I know I spent over 150. You know what I'm saying? Like, but and then you gotta think I don't even have on all my jewelry. I got bracelets that I'm missing, that's broke. I gotta get fixed. Tennis chains that I gotta get fixed. Charms that I gotta get fixed, and I got charms that's in the shop right now that's getting made. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got new pieces that's getting made. So, and for real, I've been looking at earrings and shit too. You know what I'm saying? And plus, like, I done bought a lot of women jewelry too. Like, so my jewelers, like, all my jewelers really love me because, you know, I done bought my kids chains. You know what I'm saying? So I be trying to spread the wealth, man. And, you know, I come from a city where everything that I got on is really, really very, very rare. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of young niggas in my city right now who really shining and who really iced out. Don't get me wrong. There's some niggas in my city who more iced out than me. First of all, let me state that. But this is like having big diamonds and a lot of diamonds. It was not a normal, super normal Washington D.C. thing when I was growing up. You feel me? So I just be trying to spread the love. That's why I buy shit for my kids. I definitely like to see my bitches in ice. You know what I'm saying? So I be doing little shit like that.
When it comes to the jewelry during this interview, were any of these items gifts, or any of these items given to you, or they were all paid for?
Nah, these was all. No, my glasses was gifts. My glasses was gift. My glasses was gifted to me, but everything else was paid for.
And you shared a story behind the Cartier and the teeth, but like these bracelets and maybe these other rings, do they hold any particular meaning specifically for you?
Nah, it was just I ain't gonna lie, like, I'm a real nigga and I'm willing to admit this, right? I forgot where we was at when I came home, right? Mind you, I always seen Ross. You know, I've been around Ross for a long time. I always seen Ross wear bracelets and shit, you know what I'm saying? And I was never really a bracelet fan. But one day I went to a show, and I went to ESTG show, and we was sitting down, we was talking about jewelry, and he was telling me how, excuse me, he was telling me how a football player, who the fuck was it? Some football player was telling him, was talking to him about bracelets, right? And he was like, man, look, I wasn't never really into bracelets, but this nigga such and such put me on the bracelets, da da da. So mind you, he had his sleeve like this the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't see his bracelets. So he was like, man, yeah, so I just been picking out a couple little bracelets and shit. And then when I looked at his wrist, I'm like, damn, them bitches look cool. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah. And I was telling him, I was like, yeah, I don't really fuck with bracelets either. He was like, bro, me neither. Like, I never really fuck with bracelets, et cetera, et cetera. I ain't gonna go too deep into the story because, mind you, we in the club talking about this. We all we in the back of the club, like, in a dressing room type area, you feel me? And we just talking about jewelry. But when I seen his wrist and we was going over bracelets and shit, I was like, you know what? I bet I'm gonna start getting me some little bracelets. And then I just started getting some bracelets, and one turned into two, two turned into three, three turned into four. And then the next thing you know, I wasn't getting them adjusted like how I should, you know what I'm saying? Then I got into a little situation with a female and one snap. So I definitely gotta get back. I'm only wearing 3 right now, but I definitely gotta get back on my bracelet game for sure.
So just for clarification, which will lead into another question here, this is over 150 that you're currently sporting during the interview, or you've just spent 150 over the years on these items and various other pieces of jewelry?
If I had to guess right now, I know for sure I got over 150 on right now. But I know I'm not the type that's going, I ain't no goofy nigga, bro. So when it comes to like how much I spent on jewelry, I can't put a price on that because I done broke up multiple times. You know what I'm saying? With multiple bitches who I done bought bust down rollies for chains, bust down Cartiers, glasses and watches. I done bought bitches rings, earrings. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't no petty nigga when I fuck with a bitch. You know what I'm saying? So how much I ever spent on jewelry, I'm not even gonna try to sit here on this camera and freestyle that. But you know what I'm saying? I like jewelry though. You know what I'm saying? I always admired jewelry, and I wasn't no nigga who grew up with no big sack. I wasn't no nigga who had rich parents. I wasn't none of that. So yeah, I like to purchase shit for sure.
Now, how does that work, or what's your policy when you do, or you have broken up with a female and she does have that watch you spent a bag on, or the bracelets you spent a bag, or rings, or things that, do you let them keep that? Do you take that back? How does that work for you?
You let them keep it, man. I'm at the age now where you just let them keep it for sure, for sure. You feel me? I do recall being at that age where, all right, bitch, give me my watch back then, bitch. I do recall that age, man. But you know, with time, man, you just look at it like, you know what, that's what you felt like doing out the kindness of your heart at that time. Let her keep it. And when you don't have time to chase these bitches, and you feel me, when you ain't got time to be running up on these bitches and breaking in bitches' houses and breaking in bitches' cars, when you get over that stage of that toxicness, it's like, man, whatever. You feel me? Because I done bought BBLs, titties, veneers, and shit too, and that shit you can't take back. You know what I'm saying? So when you charge that shit to the game, charge it to the game. If you feel like doing something for her at that point in time, just do it, charge that shit to the game. If it don't work out, it is what it is.
And we have discussed that before, the BBLs and things of that nature that you have paid for in the past.
Yeah.
Now, just the 150 alone that you're representing here with the jewelry during this interview, was spending that amount of money worth it? And asking because there are some that are watching this or listening to this interview that are contemplating, should I spend 50,000 on something, 100,000 on something?
Yeah, spending that amount of money, yeah, it is worth it because it's what you work hard for. You know what I'm saying? You could die today or tomorrow, and whether you got 3 million in memorabilia or you got 3 million in different investment properties, you did it. You know what I'm saying? I remember this old Donald Trump speech where he was talking to some crowd in some state or whatever, and he was like, you know, I started my journey. My dad gave me a small loan of $1 million, and I took that and I did X, Y, and Z, and Z, and Z, and Z, right? And I always said to myself, I know at least 10 people. Now, I know a lot of niggas, females and males, right? But I know at least 10 people that if they would have had a head start at 18 years old with $1 million from their parents, well, they would have had at least $250, $300 million, you feel me? So I say all that to say, majority of the people that I know, I mean, outside of the athletes, and I don't necessarily say I really knew them because I met them like from them coming up within their career or whatever. So majority, almost 98% of the people I know was born poor. You know what I'm saying? Like, born poor. Mother had no car, father wasn't around. You had to wear your brother coat, you and your brother shared shoes. You had to borrow noodles from the neighbor. You had to borrow cereal from the neighbor. You had to borrow milk from the neighbor. You had to take a shower at the neighbor house because your water turned off. You had to do your homework over here because the lights cut off. Majority of those people, that's the majority of the people I grew up around. That's the city and the environment that I come from. So I say all that to say this. When you make it to a point in your life where these is the things that you want to purchase, right? Of course it's worth it because you started from zero. You worked hard for that. You know what I'm saying? I was looking at this meme the other day, not to go off subject. I seen a meme of the dude V's from Detroit, right? And he was like, yo, I'm really blessed to grow up in this generation because I know for a fact a lot of the things that I do for my friends and family, my grandparents used to ask themselves how I'm gonna come up with that kind of money. He might have said it in a jokingly type way, right? But as a street nigga, I know for a fact that he meant what he said. I say that to say, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, shit, my mother, my uncles, some of the things that I do, the things that I've bought, the gifts that I've gave, they wouldn't have never fathomed of doing that in their life. So since I've been blessed with the opportunity to do that, of course it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? I could go broke tomorrow, be down on my dick, and might have to go pawn in all my jewelry and get this cash and go take this cash and put it into whatever, a abandoned house, an abandoned apartment, a car, a couple used cars, whatever I choose to do it with. But when I purchased it, that was something that I wanted to do. So therefore I felt as though it was 100% worth it.
Now, for someone in the audience with no jewelry, what does over $150,000 on your body at one time feel like?
That's a crazy question, Smallz, man. I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But like when I go back around my neighborhood, when any of my youngers ask like, hey, bro, let me wear the watch, let me wear the chain. Of course I'm gonna look and see who asking me because, you know, certain niggas can't do certain shit. But for the most part, I don't never say no because I understand where they coming from, you feel me? Like, niggas with this type of jewelry wouldn't even walk inside of my neighborhood when I was growing up and coming up, you feel me? So when youngers see somebody like pull up and like, damn, bro, blah, 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 I done had people ask me to move the car to the next parking lot, you know what I'm saying? Just to say they did it. You get what I'm saying? Because they probably gonna only drive stolen cars or they probably gonna only drive dirt bikes or four-wheelers. You feel me? So sometimes people just want to move your car from one parking lot to the other one just to say they did it. And so I understand how that feels. So that was a kind of a hard question.
Well, the reason for that question was because there are some that are watching or listening to this interview saying to themselves, 150,000, that's a piece of real estate on your body.
Man, look, my homie, look, listen, man, I'm gonna tell you some real shit, right? I be feeling good, you know what I'm saying? Like, I be cool and I be chilling. Lil Meech, shout out my dog, Lil Meech. Lil Meech might pull up and call me and be like, hey, boy, I'm gonna be in DC tonight, man. I got a pool party, such and such, push up on me. I be like, all right, bad. I push up on Meech. Meech paid 500,000 for his charm. 500 racks on the charm, that's not including the Cuban. You get what I'm saying? And when I get beside him, I be like, I gotta step it up. You know what I'm saying? So I be with Rose, my big homie. Rose liable to walk around you with over 2 million in jewelry on his person. I mean, if you count his right wrist, his left wrist, his right hand, his left hand, his neck, you feel me? Then he might throw on some sneaky, niggas don't even be seeing Rose with the sneaky ankle vibes on. Niggas don't be peeping that. You know what I'm saying? You might get beside a nigga with 2 million in jewelry and just feel like you are a fucking peasant. You know what I'm saying? You just feel like you don't belong in a room. You feel me? Shout out my dog Skilla. My nigga Skilla be super iced up. You feel me? I be trying to come calm. And Skilla be super pipe iced up. You know what I'm saying? 5, 6, 7 hoes around him. Shooting dice like real Detroit nigga. You know what I'm saying? So you might get around certain people and certain people put you in certain modes for real. You feel me? Motivation though at the end of the day, if that's what you into. I know some niggas who, shout out to Styley. That's my dog. Styley from Ohio. Styley is into old school cars. You might have 750,000 in jewelry on your body. Styley got 3.8 million in used cars spread it on his farm. Not including the horses and the chickens and the ducks and the zebras. So I say that to say it's all about what you're into.
Now, do you ever look at your jewelry in those terms like, okay, this is a piece of real estate on my wrist. This is
Nah, I don't do
a
that.
car around my neck.
Excuse me, not to cut you off. Nah, I don't do that. I don't ever really do that, bro. I'm a real ghetto baby, man, from the 90s. And what you see is really what you get. And I'm the type of dude, I remember when A Boogie first came out, when he was like, bitch talking shit about me because I wore the same jeans for a week. Bitch, these jeans 1,500. I'm gonna wear them for a week. Now I know I probably said the line wrong, right? But I knew where Boogie was coming from when he said that. These bitches laughing at me said I wore the same jeans for a week. Bitch, these jeans 1,500. I'm gonna wear them for a week. When you come from where you had to share jeans and share shoes, let me wear your belt today, you wear my belt today. When you come from that, you willing to wear your Amiri's all week. I remember when P&B Rock and somebody else was going back and forth on the internet about who had the most Amiri's, and then they try to include Jay-Z and Kanye West into the conversation, and I'm like, oh wait, but P&B ain't reached Jay-Z and Kanye level yet. P&B just having fun about, yo, who got the most Amiri's in their closet? Of course Jay-Z could say, man, I'm a billionaire, I got the most homes in America. You know what I'm saying? Of course he could say that, but wait till P&B get there. But while he at that level that he at, let him brag about him and his dog trying to figure out who got the most pair of Amiri's, because we came from nothing. So let them brag about that.
Now, speaking in that same kind of context, even if this was in your own personal residence and this wasn't for camera or anything of that nature, have you ever just put every single piece of jewelry you have on just to do it? Whether it mixed or not, just to throw everything on, look in the mirror in your own domain. Have you ever done that?
No, that's a great question. Like on some Slick Rick type shit, right?
Yes.
No, I never
Even
did.
if it's just for fun, just to see what it all looks like.
Excuse me, nah, I never did that before. I never did that before. I should try. I mean, just to see, right? Like, not like take a picture or shoot a video.
Correct. Just for your own.
Yeah. Nah, I should. Yeah, nah, I should do that one day. I never did that before, bro. I never did that before. But you got to think. When I was 22 and 23 years old, when I first signed the Maybach, right? Ross would leave jewelry all around his house, right? Not only would he not tell me that he was gone, but he'd be like, yo, I'm in Europe. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be like 4 Cuban links over here, couple rings over here. I remember he had this gold rope chain, and the charm was a gold-plated $5 bill, right? And I thought to myself, like, yo, this is a dope-ass charm. It was a gold-plated $5 bill. I'd never seen that before. I put that charm on, I probably wore it for like 2 months, to the point where I thought Ross had forgot about it. Not that I was on some stealing type shit or nothing like that. It was just like, yo, you know, he had so much jewelry, you know what I'm saying? And then one random day, probably like 8, 9 months later, and this is a testament to a real hustler, a real nigga who come from the ghetto, he called me out the blue. Yo, I'm like, what's up, big boy? He like, you got my gold-plated $5 bill charm? I'm like, yeah, I got that. He was like, all right, next time you come to the city, I need you come drop that back off to me, whoa. I'm like, all right, bet. And when I hung up the phone, I ain't feel no type of way. You know what I said to myself? That's a real nigga, man. Because out of all the big dookie Cuban bracelets, yachts, Lamborghinis, all this shit he got, houses, homes, he was like, damn, boy, somebody got my little gold-plated $5 bill. Trel got it, called Trel. I respected that about him, because it's like, yo, nah, we ain't let nothing get past me. Like, I respected that because he really come from the trenches, you know what I'm saying? So that's a real nigga to me in my eyes. Like, nah, I ain't letting that slide. I need that. Bring that back, big boy. I appreciate that.
And then speaking of jewelry, even when this was in your younger days of just first getting jewelry, would you wear it inside your residence? Aside from going out, would you ever sleep with it on?
Nah.
Things of that nature?
Nah, okay, well, see, nah. I mean, certain places where you might fall asleep where you not want to take your jewelry off, but sleeping in jewelry is one of the most uncomfortablest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? So I just want people to know that, like, sleeping in jewelry. That's why I shout out to Nipsey, man. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. He said, money making nip, straighten out my jewelry on my bitch dresser. Because as a hustler, if you grew up watching Paid in Full, then you knew how important it was for when you got in your bedroom to take all your jewelry off and put it on the dresser. Especially if you had a bitch spending the night, or especially if you went to your bitch crib. You feel me? And I'm talking about you could have been going to go see a bitch who still lived with her mama. You know what I'm saying? You remember them nosy mothers used to come in the bedroom while y'all was still asleep, look around, make sure y'all ain't fucking. Is y'all knocked out? Do you want some breakfast? All that. Mon Dukes done seen a nigga jewelry lined up on a bitch dresser a few times, you feel me? So I wasn't never the type of nigga that was gonna wear jewelry in my sleep.
And winding down the questions here about jewelry, did mention to you, do you ever look at your jewelry in terms of like an auto vehicle or a piece of real estate and things of that nature? And you said you don't. But what is your opinion on those who purchase jewelry first instead of the auto vehicle or the piece of real estate, so on and so forth?
Live your life. Live your life. Fulfill your dreams. Life is short. You could buy the Cuban today and live for 20 years. You could buy the Maserati tomorrow and die the day after. You know what I'm saying? Live your life. You never know. It's so much shit going on, man. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to XXX Tentacion, man. He woke up and decided to go to the bank and get some cash and said, man, I'm going to go purchase a motorcycle. He lost his life in the same day. So I say that to say, whatever you choose to wake up and go do for that day, go do it. Be happy. Be grateful. You know what I'm saying? If you want to buy an earring, go buy your earring. Or if you want to go get a bottle of Milagro, go get a bottle of Milagro. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, life is so short. You know what I'm saying? I feel as though we should spend more time. Of course, you should set yourself up for the future. You know, if you ever get in a position to set yourself up for the future, real estate, yachts, cars, whatever you do for your family, of course, by all means, do that. But for the most part, when you wake up, make sure whatever you choose to do on that day or that specific day, make sure you do that. Make sure you do what make you happy for sure. Yeah. I ain't real good with words. Even the words that I be trying to say, I don't know how to put them in the right way. But I think, like, if you're a real nigga or if you're a real bitch, like, you get the message. You get what I'm trying to say.
Fans or supporters? What do you refer to them as?
Both. Fans and supporters. You got supporters who support you for a long time. You got fans who just want pictures and autographs and who might not come to a concert ever. You know what I'm saying? But they're a fan of you. So I think you can call them both.
Is there a difference between either or?
I just try to semi-explain the difference between both, but I feel like, you know, it go both ways. Like I said, you got some people who listen to your music forever. You got some people who will strictly only listen to your old music, who don't want to play your new music. You got people who want to listen to your new music who don't like your old music. You got people who would rather come see you in concert or come support a turkey drive that involves you versus going to an after party where they know you're going to be performing. So I think fans and supporters go hand in hand.
Now, what's been your favorite encounter with a fan or supporter so far?
I think my favorite encounter with a fan, it would have to be, I forgot what I was doing at this event. I know it was at the, it had something to do with Maya Angelou. And it wasn't a concert. It was literally an event where I was supposed to be there, and it wasn't a party. It was like some type of school event. Damn, what was I doing? And this young girl I met, like, she wouldn't stop crying, like she wouldn't stop crying because I was in her presence. And I think that was one of the most memorable moments or interactions that I ever had with a fan, because no matter how much we tried to calm her down, she wouldn't stop crying. Also, I remember backstage, I think this was the first time Meek had got to see me perform live, was at the TLA. I was on tour with YG, and a fan had met me backstage in Philadelphia, and I was with all these, you know, big artists. Meek was there, YG was there, DJ Mustard was there. Who else was there? Anyway, it was a lot of big artists was there. And when she seen me, she had started crying. And I think anytime somebody see you and cry, it's like, yo, like they really fuck with you. So I think that had to be my biggest interaction with a fan.
Now, what does that feel like from your perspective when you see someone cry because it's just you?
I just feel like, damn, like they fuck with you. Like it's bigger than music. You know what I'm saying? It's your aura. It's the way you talk. It's the way you walk. Of course, it's your music, but I feel as though like they fuck with you on a whole nother type of different level, as to where they feel like they really know you in real life. And then also they have to cope with the fact that, wow, I might not never see him in person ever again. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at it in terms of that, I can understand why motherfuckers cry. Like I remember watching those old Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston documentaries and seeing how many people would fall out, and during his concert, EMS would continuously have to pull people out the crowd and take them to the back, spray them with water, put ice on their face, because there was so many people fainting and falling out. And that's a testament to how much people are deeply in love with you as a person. Fuck the artist. Like they love you on a whole nother level. Michael Jackson had people fainting and falling out. At least 10 to 20 people faint and fall out every time he stepped out in person. Think about that. Think about, multiply that by how many times he stepped out in person, how many concerts he did, right? And if you wanted to freestyle and do the math, it's safe to say that Michael Jackson made more than 200,000 people faint off his presence alone. What does that say to you and your character as a person? That says a lot. You done made over 200,000 people just pass the fuck out. As soon as they seen you, they just was so shocked and so happy that they fainted. That's big.
Now, has that ever happened to you where a fan or supporter has actually fainted in your presence?
I got a crazy story. I don't want to get into it, but nah, I've never made a fan faint or fall out ever in my life. I don't think I've ever seen a fan where they seen me and they just passed out and fainted. Nah. But like I said, I remember two females crying over meeting me. One was in my city in Washington, D.C., and one was in Philly.
Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, what's been your worst encounter with a fan or supporter?
That's another story I don't want to get deep into, but I will say, let's just say that she wasn't quite honest with us on her sexual history. Let me say that she didn't tell us that she was a virgin and she had an accident, but that's as far as I'm willing to go. But I feel as though I'm a real nigga, you know what I'm saying? And like my friends is the same. So I feel like if she was honest about her history, we could have collectively went about it another type way, you know what I'm saying? But I get it. Like I said, you know, some people feel like they'll never see each other ever again. And, you know, some people might feel like, man, if I'm being honest with this person, I might not get in. You know what I'm saying? And so I be understanding that, you feel me? So.
Now, don't know if you're able to answer this question or not, but what's your policy or your opinion on those who have sex or something sexual with their fans or supporters?
As long as it's consensual and they grown, I don't have no problem with it. You feel me? Because we all adults at the end of the day. You feel me? And like I said, like, you look at the Chris Brown situation, right, where people are saying, yo, look at these women doing these crazy things and they got boyfriends and husbands. And look at the crazy stuff they doing at the meet and greet. And don't get me wrong, you know, if you married or you've been in a relationship with this woman for 6 years and she sit on Chris Brown's lap, that's crazy. She sit on Robin Thicke's lap, it's crazy. She sit on Kevin Hart's lap, it's crazy, of course. But you gotta understand that these people are thinking, man, I might never ever get this close to Chris Brown ever again. I might not never be in a position as to where I could pay this amount of money for the meet and greet. I might not be in this position as to where my schedule will permit me to go to this concert. So when they see these people, they getting it all out. Like, yo, man, I got you right here in my presence. They getting it all out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my dog, Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates got the most craziest, honest, straightforward, blatant fans I've ever been around. And I done been around the Rosés, the Wales, I done been around the John Walls, I done been around the Chase Youngs, the football player, you name it. Kevin Gates got the most straightforward, brutally honest fans I've ever seen in my life. Shout out my dog Gates, man. But the way they act and how they treat them, I respect it. Because you could tell that they coming from a place where they may never see Kevin Gates ever again.
And the reason for that question is there are some that have said they have a policy where they will absolutely not F their fans.
That's cap. Let me tell you why that's cap, right? Okay, you can meet a woman, right, who might not know who, let's use you for example. You might meet a woman who might not know who Smallz is, right? Let's say you at the bar, you by yourself, you chilling. A group of 5 women come walk up to the same bar, right? One woman might start a casual conversation with you. Y'all drinking, talking about y'all future, past, whatever, your names, ages, career, whatever, right? And then one of her girlfriends walk up and be like, oh shit, it's DJ Smallz. Like, what the fuck? How you doing? Da, da, da. Can I get a picture? Bop, 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 right? Now, the one that you was originally speaking to, like, wait, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you told me you was in the media. You ain't say that you was fucking famous. Like, you ain't tell me that you got 1 million YouTube subscribers. You ain't and you go into that, right? And then cool, boom. At the end of the night, right? You and that woman who didn't know who you was, y'all might not hit it off. You might have heard something in the conversation where, I don't want her number. She might have heard something in the conversation, I don't want to fuck with this nigga. You know what I'm saying? But you already drunk already. You at the bar, you feel me? You got the next 2 to 3 hours as to where you got some free time on your hand, right? Not to mention, I ain't put this part in there. Let's say you in Arkansas somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You don't know nobody in Arkansas. You just went to Arkansas to go handle business. You know what I'm saying? You mean to tell me you ain't gonna holler at the fan who peeped you and knew who you was and see if it's okay if you all could go back to the room and have a couple more drinks and get to know each other? You not gonna do that? Cut it out, man. So all these people who be like, man, I don't fuck my fans, man, that should be cap. Because guess what? Either they a fan directly or they a fan indirectly. You feel me? Because guess what? If her homegirl wouldn't have never told you who you was, she probably was gonna fuck anyway. You know what I'm saying? Now that the homegirls done discuss who you is and they done went over your social media and found out, now they really trying to fuck. And then guess what after that? Soon after they fuck you, guess what they gonna do when you on the plane? Putting your headphones on and picking your movie on the screen so you can fall asleep. She's on YouTube watching all the DJ Smallz interviews. She done Googled you and read your Wikipedia. She know how many kids you got, what state you was born in, how old you is, with the state. She know everything now. And now she not gonna not support you. She fucked you. You know what I'm saying? So now you just developed a new what? Fan. And then the next time you're in Arkansas, you gonna call her phone again. So you officially what? You fucking a fan. So what's up with these dudes who saying they don't fuck fans? That's cap.
Now, using same example here, where it was a very positive ending and a positive story where one gained a fan, but do you think a person that has a policy that says they won't F their fans, maybe it was a bad sexual experience? Maybe it wasn't a good, some people have an image in their head of how something will go. And if it doesn't go according to plan and it's a letdown and it's a loss of expectation, this person isn't who I thought it was, or this, could they have lost a fan? And maybe that's why they insert that policy where they were absolutely not F their fans.
Absolutely. See, things like that happen. Things like that happen. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to give you a great example. I ain't going to put no year or time or nothing on this, right? I had this fan that used to DM me. She used to be like, yo, I'm such a huge fan of you. Anytime, she was a stripper, right? She was like, anytime I go out on my sets, I always ask them to play your music. I only wanted to dance to your music. She had been DMing me, let's say 3 years, right? On and off, and we strictly only talked through DM. We never linked, never went on a date, never exchanged numbers, never FaceTime or nothing, right? Boom. One day I say, yo, we DMing and shit. I say, this is a true story. I said, where you from again? Oh, I'm from this place. Yo, it's crazy, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Boom, let's link, right? So I'm gonna try to make the story quick. All right. She kept taking all long to come to my hotel, right? My manager knocked on the door, yo, it's time to go, we gotta go. I already gotta go. But she pulling up to the hotel. She keeps saying, I'm pulling up. I said, I'm 2 minutes away, I'm 3 minutes. Boom. Everybody downstairs, everybody basically waiting on me. So boom, I try to come, I'm stalling, I come downstairs. She finally pull up. I tell my manager, hey, I'm about to walk her up to the room real quick just to get her straight, and then I'm gonna come back down. He already pissed. He like, bro, we late as fuck. You don't have no time to do that. You don't have no time you might as well give her the room key and send her up to the room. All right, boom. We go up to the room, we hurry up and fuck real quick, right? Boom. No cap. I don't last longer than, let's say, 6, 7 minutes, right? Boom. I go out the door. Now, for the remainder of the night, I'm busy as fuck the whole night. The whole entire night, I wanted to do what I had to do, get my money, and go back to the hotel room to be back with this broad, right? But shit kept popping up. It just so happened that nigga like 5, 6, 7, 8 rappers was in the city at this time that night. And I never made it back to the hotel, period, point blank, boom. She woke up the next morning, she leave, go home, whatever. We arguing through text, whatever, boom, right? One more chance, like 4 months later, right? Mind you, remember how the story started out? This been my fan, like, she DM me and was like, yo, I always fuck with you, blah, blah, blah. 3, 4 months later, we get another chance. Say, yo, I'm on the tour bus. We riding past your city, and we got to stop in your city. She's like, for real? I'm like, yeah. She's like, all right, pull up to the crib. I pull up to the crib. Long story short, no longer than 6, 7 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I leave, boom, I'm on the way back to the bus. I get on the bus, she like, yo, why you keep doing this to me? I'm like, what? She was like, all you ever do is give me 5 minutes. Like, this your second time. Like, you never gave me more than 5 minutes. Like, what the fuck? You know me. Come on, baby, I'm busy. The pussy wet, it's great. What you want me to say? I can't last. I can make up an excuse. I can't give you one. The pussy is good. Every time I get in it, I'm right back out of it. I don't know what you want me to do. She said, yo, I'm never fucking with you ever again. Like, fuck you. She looked past all the albums, all the videos, all the concerts, all the interviews, all the times I took her mind away from whatever she was going through in life. She's been a Trel fan. She had 2 sexual encounters with Trel and was like, yo, fuck this nigga. I don't fuck with this nigga no more. And guess what? It ain't nothing I can do about that. So the answer, I know that was a long answer to your question, but I say that to say, I think, speaking from experience, that's the one time where I met a fan and I actually made the bitch not a fan of me no more. Not knowing that if she catch me on the right night, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna, you know what I mean? If she catch me on the right night, I really do this on a professional level. It just so happened that the 2 nights that me and you linked, it was shit going on. You know what I'm saying? Niggas had to, you know what I'm saying? But in her mind, she like, oh, nah, this is really a 2-minute nigga. Like, man, fuck this nigga. All the shit he rap about in his songs, he's a piece of shit. It ain't true. Fuck that nigga. And that's her experience for me. But it just so happened that that's just the way that life was going. So I do believe that you can have an experience with a fan as to where you could turn a fan off. And you can have a lot of experience with fans where fans turn you off. Because they like to sneak pictures. They like to take stuff. They like to steal stuff as memorabilia, not knowing that they literally stealing. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that come with fucking with fans.
Now, in your past history of relationships, have any of your meaningful relationships throughout the years ever been with the beginning of a start of they were a fan of you? Is that possible? Is a meaning relationship where it starts out, someone's a fan of you, can that exist?
I don't think any of my meaningful or serious relationships that I've had, I don't think I ever had them with fans. I think all the meaningful and serious relationships that I've had with people was people that I knew before I became famous, or Trel the rapper, or people who met me and didn't have no idea who I was and was still like on some, you know, it developed into a relationship. Now, I will say, this is probably too direct, but I'm a gangster. One of my baby mothers was a fan. You know what I'm saying? But would I say we had a real serious relationship? Nah. But we took it too far, for sure. We took it too far, for sure.
Is that possible, zooming out, to have a meaningful relationship where it starts out someone's a fan of one person?
Yeah, absolutely. I say that to say nothing's impossible, first and foremost. But yeah, it's impossible for you. I mean, yes, it's possible for you to have a serious relationship with a fan. Yeah, it is. It's hard to not, like, come on, man. Like, come on, man. Whoever you are, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, like, you feel me? Like, yeah, you might not, and I'm not saying that any of those people was, they wives was fans. I'm not saying that because I don't know. But I'm saying, like, even if you meet a nigga, like, you become a fan of them. You feel me? Like, even when you meet a bitch, like, your bitch might be a painter. You might not never went to art shows or value paint ever in your life. But once you meet your bitch and you understand that she's a painter and you start looking at paint, you become a fan of your bitch artwork. So at that point, what are you? You're a fan of her work. So it's definitely possible, for sure.
And on paper, does that make sense for one to have a relationship, a real relationship with someone that's a fan of them?
Anything that's genuine makes sense. Fuck on paper. If the love is there, if the care, if the trust is there, yeah, it makes sense. It don't matter. Like, it don't matter if you become in a relationship. I'm gonna put it like this, right? And I ain't gonna use no names. My dog, right? My dog, he a rapper. You feel me? When we was coming up, he used to always view this one other rap broad, right? I ain't gonna use no names or nothing. He was like, oh, man, that's like my favorite bitch in the world. Like, I love this bitch. Like, I want her. One day I'm gonna fuck her. Watch, I'm telling you, Trel, like, I'm gonna get this bitch, right? And this is something we always spoke about. I think they on their second or third child right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna use their names, but I say all that to say, is he still a fan of her music-wise? I don't know, but I remember how that relationship developed. And guess what? They ain't broken up or nothing. You know what I'm saying? They together, they raising their children, they happy and all that. And I'm not gonna use no names, but like that's a specific situation where I remember he only knew her from straight music. But it's my favorite bitch, bro. Blah, blah, blah. Damn, what you like about it? Man, I like this. Look at this. Look at this. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get this bitch one day. This gonna be my bitch. I'm like, all right, bet. You look up 7, 8 years later when the rumors first hit, I'm like, damn, look at my dog. He got her. Then the baby came, I'm like, whoa. Brody had a baby. Then the second one came, I'm like, nah. You was for real. Like, that wasn't something that was on your wish list. That was something like, that was your soulmate, real life soulmate. So yes, it's possible. It's very possible.
All right, wrapping up the questions here about fans or supporters, and this is for sexual, non-sexual, whatever. We're just zooming out here and talking generally speaking. But what's the best way for a fan or supporter to approach you? What are the rules, the etiquette, the guidelines, the do's and don'ts before someone approaches you? Because there may be people that have never met their favorite rapper, a celebrity, so on and so forth, that one time they get a chance to meet someone like yourself. Are there some do's and don'ts with that?
Smallz, you crazy, man. I expect the only do's and don'ts would be, to just keep it, you know what I'm saying, on the low. You know, I don't think people understand, like, you know, I grew up my whole life, I've been watching celebrities and shit, and I used to think, like, yo, all celebrities do is date celebrities, right? I used to think that. Then I started hanging around all these rappers, ball players, football players, tennis players. I know niggas that swim, all type of shit, you feel me? Gymnastics, actors. I know all type of people. And it's like, I don't think that the world understand that majority of the celebrities I know want non-celebrity people. You get what I'm saying? Like, they not really tripping off having a bitch with a bag. I know bitches who ain't tripping off having a nigga with a bag. They want somebody who genuinely fuck with them for them, who ain't gonna be super starstruck, who know how to play their role and not over press a nigga out when it's time to get busy and get money, and who ain't gonna act super crazy when they get around these other celebrities and other, you get what I'm saying? So, nah, it's definitely, I know a lot of people, celebrities, ball players, famous, rich, whatever you want to call them, who would much rather deal with people who are not in the limelight versus other celebrities.
Now, personally speaking, have you tried that yourself? Where
Try what?
You've dated someone that was as popular as you, if not more popular than you? So a celebrity dating a celebrity in a sense.
Yeah. Even though I never consider myself a celebrity, that's just me speaking. I'm just that humble nigga.
For lack of a better phrase.
Yeah. But yeah. I've tried that. Yeah.
And what's your opinion on that? You prefer someone non-celebrity?
Yeah. And I say that respectfully though, not meaning that the door is closed for celebrities or, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, meaning like, I'm not saying that to say I'll never take a celebrity serious. I'll never fall in love with a celebrity. I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying I would prefer, me personally, just to deal with somebody who's normal, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who has a regular job, a good woman, take care of their business, you know what I'm saying? Now, I got women who are not celebrities, who got more money than celebrities, who've had more surgeries than celebrities, you get what I'm saying? But they still regular women at the end of the day. So I say all that to say, like, me personally, I prefer what I prefer, you feel me? But to each his own, you never know. Life has all different types of shapes and turns and U-turns and this highway and that highway, and you never know what's bound to happen in life. But me personally, I'm from a neighborhood in Washington D.C. where we value simplicity. You feel me? And I like to be able to walk the red carpet and then go back to the trenches where it's roaches and rats at and have a couple shots with my friends and play dominoes for an hour or two and then go home. I still enjoy both sides.
Anything else in regards to approach here? Fan or supporter approaching someone like yourself?
Just keep it private, keep it P. Keep it super P, private, peaceful. All the other P words, pleasant. All the other P words, man. P just don't stand for pimping, man. P stands for peace, prosperity, pleasureful. I could go for days how many words the P stand for. Just keep it P, super private, super peaceful.
And just to getting a little bit more depth on Chris Brown and his trend of those meet and greets where they're sitting on his lap or they're bending over in front of him. And
right, and then they husbands and boyfriends be right there. Shout out to CB. What about him though?
Well, we're taking him out of the equation, but we're also using him in a sense too. But have you seen an uptick in those type of requests from fans or supporters where they want those type of pictures from someone like yourself where maybe they didn't have those requests before?
I have seen, to answer your question, I have seen an uptick, and I think it's because of social media. You wake up so many days and you get to make a story while you brushing your teeth. You get to make a story while you eating cereal. You get to set your phone up while you ironing your clothes for the day. And so now these fans, not only do they just get to hear you on the radio station or watch you on YouTube or MTV Jams, well, now they wake up with you every day. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you leave the court building and you make a post and you having like they with you every step of the moment. You get what I'm saying? So I say that to say these meet and greets they've becoming more requested because shit, I feel like I know you anyway. So I might as well get my Instagram selfie. Let me get my boomerang. Let me get my picture. You know what I'm saying? Versus, for example, when I was younger, my mother went to the Up and Smoke tour. That was Eminem, Snoop, Nate Dogg, and whoever else was on the tour. But, you know, the only proof she had that she went to the tour? Her and her girlfriend took a picture and they had the picture backdrop where everybody that was on the tour was right then and there. Now I say that to say, I don't know about my mother meeting Snoop and Dr. Dre and Eminem and all that, but I say that to say it would have been dope if she had a picture with them like, yo, I went to the Up and Smoke tour in the year of 1990, whatever, and here's my picture with Snoop Dogg. It would have been dope to have that, because I know my mother only got one picture with a celebrity that I know of, and that's with Gerald Levert, and that was her favorite singer. And she went to he had a book signing in Washington, D.C., and she went and bought the book, got the book signed, and she took a picture with Gerald Levert. So I think the meet and greets is being requested more now because of social media.
But didn't know if you had an uptick on like sexually explicit requests, like the bending over in front of you and.
I mean, I feel like if they pay whatever they pay, I feel like whether you're in a relationship or not, right? Let's say for instance, I love my bitch, right? My bitch know I love her. I love her to death. If we having a meet and greet after my concert, and a bitch want to bend over in front of me, right? Like I said, I might not never see this fan ever again for the rest of my life. My bitch might actually be 1000% totally disgusted with the fact that this fan is bending over in front of me. But I think business-wise and a testament to my character as a man, my bitch know not to say nothing to this fan because guess what? This strictly business. You know what I'm saying? Again, she might have a problem with a fan kissing me on my cheek, bending over in front of me. How you want your picture? Nah, I want to sit in your lap for my picture. If she paid that full price for the meet and greet, and you know we going to the Chanel store in the morning, you got to let this bitch bend over, baby. It's the only way it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I feel as though, to answer your question, if they pay that meet and greet price, as long as it ain't no super crazy, freak, wild, nasty, goofy shit. Let me say that. As long as it ain't no super freak, crazy, wild, nasty, goofy shit. If they pay that meet and greet price, man, let's go. We get to, man, let's turn up. Because I might not never, ever see you ever again.
And on that note, has taking a picture with a fan, maybe a female fan at that, has that ever caused grief in a relationship you were in?
In the past, yeah, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I used to be real blatant and real. You feel me, man? You gotta think, I started rapping when I was 19, 20 years old. So, you know, we was traveling around the world doing anything. We did a lot of crazy things. And when I was in relationships at the time, yes, it did cause rifts in my relationship, you feel me? I've also been in relationships as to where we used to go through me and my bitch used to go to the crowd and pick us out one for the night. You see what I'm saying? Or go to the strip club and pick us out one for the night. You feel what I'm saying? So that shit go both ways. You know what I'm saying? It's all depending on really like how you living.
And wrapping up here on this topic, is there anything you want to say to any of your fans or supporters watching or listening to this interview?
That I'm gonna always be me, and that Boosa's Keeper is out everywhere right now. Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, everywhere. I don't care how you stream it. Stream it for free. I don't give a fuck. Just play Boosa's Keeper, man. That's what I got to tell. I love y'all for sure.
And true or false, there's a deluxe version of this.
Excuse me. True.
Is there a date for that as well, or just coming soon at this point?
Not yet, coming soon, like real soon. Like the reason why we doing an interview in the studio soon. Man.
Before this interview ends, is there anything else you were not asked fans or supporters want to know?
My fans and supporters be want to know a lot of things. And I feel as though, I ain't being funny or nothing, I feel as though that's up to the interviewee to ask those questions that most of them fans want to know. Now, and my suggestion that you go crawl through the comments and make a list of 200 questions that fans have asked out of certain artists' comments. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that I'm the type of nigga, I'm willing to speak on anything because I'm a real nigga, and I'm gonna let you know really what it is. If I can't speak on it due to legal issues, I'm gonna let you know that as well. If I don't want to speak on it due to political issues, meaning motherfucker might ask me about, for example, two artists that's got a well-known beef, and they might ask me about my relationship. If I don't feel like elaborating on that because I feel like it's being messy or one-sided, I'm gonna dodge that shit, you feel me? But for the most part, I'm gonna answer anything or discuss anything because I'm a real nigga and I'm a whole grown man and I know how to talk and I know right from right and wrong from wrong. So, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot of topics that the fans be want to talk about. But if it don't get asked to me, I never just bring up something like out of the blue type shit.
And what about the previous questions you were asked during this interview? Is there anything you want to clarify? Is there anything that needs further clarification from what was said in this interview? Something you said? Anything you want to add a little bit more detail or?
Nah, nah, man. I feel like shit. If somebody feel as though, first of all, if somebody feel as though I said something out of pocket or out the way, it'll come out. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. Number two, if me and you feel as though it's important enough to link up again and have a discussion about it, I don't have no problem with that. And most of all, let me say this. I love whenever me and you sit down and have a conversation with each other because it's always a real genuine conversation. You usually ask questions that not a lot of people ask, and I appreciate you for that too, Small. So I want to give you your flowers too, brother. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for having me for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that as well, and appreciate the opportunity to get to interview again, as this is our third one now.
If I do want to say one thing, though,
sure.
I do want to say this, since we on your network, it's going to come out on your channel and all that. I do want to apologize to my fans for the interviews where I came high to your interviews and shit like that. although I don't, I'm trying to word this perfectly, right? Well, not perfectly. I'm trying to word it as real as possible. I don't regret those interviews. Everything that I said in them was honest, but my demeanor and I could have been way more professional. You know what I'm saying? And but at the same time, I think that's a testament to my trials and tribulations. You know what I'm saying? My ups and downs. Um, I'm not the type of nigga who will glorify what I choose to do behind closed doors, but I'm not the type of nigga that's gonna feel bad or look down upon myself for doing those things. So when it comes to professionalism, I could have got myself more together before I came to do those interviews with you, right? And I believe that me being that intoxicated and truthfully that high, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that was very unprofessional of me. I feel like that was real immature of me. And you know, the older my children get, the more I think about certain things like that. And I say that to say, I never tell you take them down or no shit like that because they out, and that was my real 100% myself. But I do, now that I can look back on it in hindsight as a man, I do want to apologize for coming on your platform like that, and I want to apologize to my fans because you know, I was going through something, and but that's not an excuse either. So I just want to apologize to you and my fans too for my recent aura or my, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but how high I was the last time I came on your platform. I want to apologize for that for sure.
Well, I'd also like to say something too on that note to those who are watching or listening, that I never, as an interviewer, encourage anyone, including yourself, to be intoxicated or to take whatever they take to do an interview. Anyone that's ever come on my platform, I don't judge. I let them be who they are, how they are, and come as they are. I've seen comments in the past where people are like, is DJ Smallz giving these people something to take before they go on, or suggesting?
Yeah.
I never suggest drugs, liquor, any of that stuff. Those are people that come as they are, and I don't judge them. I just interview them how they are in real life.
Yep.
So I just want to put that out there since we're on that topic. But zooming out, any last words?
Boosa's keeper. Long live the shooter.